So we're here in Jackson Ward, one of Richmond's oldest historic neighborhoods, and we're going to take a little look around. Not only is this one known as the Harlem of the South, it's also known as the Black Wall Street of the South. The first African-American bank was created here. This was a really thriving community for the African Americans after slavery ended. They built this community up. Like I said, it was thriving. Businesses here are starting to come back and revitalization is going on, so I thought that I'd take a little look around with y'all and let you know what we think. All right, so let's go. JacksonWard. So a common theme here is going to be the murals, the artwork that you see everywhere. It's really, really gorgeous. Got the Jamaican Lounge over here, as well as a restaurant. I can attest that the food is very, very good, authentic as it comes. Bob Marley. All right, so we're here on North 2nd Street, and like I said, if this was the Harlem of the South, this was the main street going through it. On this street, you would have found a lot of the businesses, a lot of the banks of the area, as well as the entertainment district, starting with the Hippodrome. So the Hippodrome is an old classic theater. I actually used to work right next door and used to do the catering for the Hippodrome, so it's a really special place to me. Get up here and give you a little bit more information on it, but just thought I'd take you on a little walk down 2nd Ave. Let's go. The music theme continues. Up here, one of my favorite baseball players of all time, and Richmond's own Billy Nash, was born. He used to live. It's now been turned into an office building, so unfortunately you don't get to see his original house, but he's a local to Jackson Ward as well. Over here is the Speakeasy. It's where I mentioned that I used to work before. Come over and check it out. So if you know anything about Prohibition times, a Speakeasy was a building to where you could go in and still have your drink, even though it was illegal to consume alcohol at the time. A lot of them had hidden doors, hidden passages. They were legitimate businesses that led to a drinking parlor. This one has a false door, kind of like a false cabinet that you open up that leads to the bar. Really cool. Tremendous food here at Speakeasy. Ron Stallin's the owner. I can't speak highly enough of him. Used to be his executive chef for a little bit, and he always showed me love, so there we go. And I don't know if he still was, but Ron also used to be the owner of the Hippodrome. So the Hippodrome was created in 1914 in Art Deco style, and inside, I mean, it is immaculate. I think that it rivals the Bird Theater in a lot of ways, other than it doesn't have the pipe organ going for it. Like I said, a lot of famous acts came through here. Bill Bojangles Robinson, Charlie Parker, John Coltrane. Take a little look at some of these facades here. Very cool. They still have events here up to this day. They'll do graduations, they'll do weddings, they'll do concerts. Miles Davis came through here, Dizzy Gillespie. And this is the Hippodrome. Gorgeous, gorgeous Hippodrome. Continuing our way down 2nd. These are a few new businesses I haven't been able to frequent yet. The Deuce, Southern Kitchen Lux. And this used to be the Croaker spot down here on the corner. Now Southern Kitchen Lux has taken that over as well. Okay, continuing our Jackson Ward tour. We're here at Ebenezer Baptist Church. This church was founded in 1858. right here off of Lee Street. And you'll see some of the gorgeous wrought iron fencing. This neighborhood, Jackson Ward, is known for its wrought iron fencing. It is the place with the most wrought iron fencing other than New Orleans in the United States. So a lot of these historic houses you're going to see have the wrought iron fencing, and it's just really beautiful architecture down here. So the Ebenezer Baptist Church. Coming up here on the Armory now. This used to be an old fortification, a place that they kept the weapons in the city. Now it is the Black History Museum. You can see the turrets on top. Really nice building. It is now home to the Black History Museum here in Jackson Ward. Like I said, it's the Lee Street Armory. Got a little Jackson Ward floor sign here. Over here we have the Richmond Alternative School. This used to be Armstrong High School. Armstrong has since moved to a more modern location. And it looks like originally it was Graves Junior High School. I'll have to look into that. See a little more of the fence in here. Nice house for sale. So these are my old stomping grounds, Jackson Ward. I used to live right down here on St. James Street on this southern side of the interstate. Really enjoyed my time living here. It was when my son was still going to school, when he was maybe 12 to 15. And I just have really good memories of this Jackson Ward area. So continuing on. Coming up here to the corner of Lee and Adams. And up here, this has been dedicated as Bill Bojangles Way. We have Bill Bojangles' statue here. He was a local entertainer from Jackson Ward. Performed down at the Hippodrome, as well as many places, Harlem, all over the country. So Bill's Bojangle Jackson. Crossing the road here. Looks like we have a few murals across the street. Let's go check it out. So the Hippodrome being in this area, a lot of famous bands came through here, a lot of famous acts. And as you can see, the trumpet is memorialized here. Bet you the back of the building has something on it. A little adventure time here. Yeah. More graffiti. These old brick stones. This area is going under a revitalization as we speak, and it's just getting prettier and prettier by the year. So coming down here to St. James Street. Like I said, this is my old stomping ground, so I figured I would take y'all on down to where I used to live. More Little wrought iron theme going on here. There she is. My city. So they had an old Civil War hospital up here that when I lived here, it was shut down. It was in disrepair. It was a squatter house, crack house, if you will. And when I was looking at this area the other day, thinking about coming around here to show it to y'all, I saw that they recently redid it. It makes me very, very happy. So here it is. This was the old Civil War hospital, recently remodeled. Once again, adding to the revitalization of the JacksonWard community. Moving along. Right up here, you'll see where I used to call home. We had this church across the way. You could hear the sermons on the weekend. Really interesting sermons. I believe this was the first African American church in Richmond. I'm sorry to say I don't remember the name, but we're going to come up here and give it a little love. This is it. 525. This is where I used to call home. And like I said, right across the way, it's this nice little church. Across the road here. Sunday morning sermons. This church is at the corner of St. James and Lee. Like I said, 95 separates that way. And here we are, Miracle Church of the Lord. Continuing on. All right, playing first. And we are coming into the little shopping district here, where most of the businesses are centralized here in JacksonWard. We have Mama J's over across the street. Known for their soul food, award-winning soul food here in Richmond. They're always pretty busy. Hopefully I can stop over there and get a little treat later on. One of my favorite desserts here in the city. Got a little mural here going. We're going to be turning up here on East Marshall Street and checking out some of the businesses. I think I'm going to get me a little street food up here. Just walk around first, give you a little look at everything. Let's go. A lot of these buildings here are from the 1850s, 1800s. The first black bank in the nation was here in JacksonWard. Maggie Walker created the bank. She has a historic house here in this part of the town that we're going to be checking out a little later on. Got Emmett Burke over there, first president, Consolidated Bank and Trust. Across the street over here. Here's Maggie Walker on the other side, CEO, board chair, Consolidated Bank and Trust. You really got the nice artwork going here, JacksonWard Legacies mural. And you have your historic JacksonWard mural. I'll tell you what this reminds me of in a few minutes. JacksonWard, everyone. All right, walking up on Mama J's. Gonna have us a little lunch. Let's do this. We stopped into Mama J's for lunch. Street food vendor wasn't open today. And we went on ahead and got the brisket sandwich. I'm gonna have my dessert to go. You know, that's what it is. And this is Mama J's. See, we got that sweet tea. And I'll be quick with the background music, but we got the brisket sandwich. So let's get to it. All right, and that was lunch at Mama J's. Should have stuck with the chicken sandwich because the brisket was, service was amazing as always. Shout out to the server. Gave me a little sweet tea to go, possibly the best sweet tea in Richmond. And I also got the homemade bread pudding to go, my favorite dessert in the city. And we're gonna try to find a little quiet place down here to snack on it. So let's go. Let's check out this bread pudding. So Mama J's has been there for about a decade, and every time I go, it has the same taste. So let's see what we got. This is the cinnamon raisin one. Oof. Got a little dip. And here we go. God damn. That is real. So Mama J's, 1.5 thumbs up. Can't give you the whole 2. That brisket sandwich, I don't know, I was expecting nice sliced, delicious, just really, really seared brisket. It was kind of more like beef tips on slightly toasted wheat. Gotta keep it real with you, unfortunately. But in the end, Mama J's, I always highly recommend it just for the service alone. I did go out of my comfort zone. Normally wouldn't get the brisket sandwich. I'd get the chicken sandwich, which I mean is amazing, and you know, lesson learned. Once you find something you like, you may as well stick with it. But definitely do like the bread pudding, sticking with that, and we're gonna finish this off. All right, see you in a little bit. Coming down Lee Street, you'll see a lot more elaborate fencing and border. This is a nice house. You see these around Richmond, similar to the one that was on VCU's campus, the Sittering House. Really cool. So I can admit when I'm wrong and I stand corrected. Maggie Walker was the first African American female to be president of a bank. No less impressive. Being here from JacksonWard herself, she rose to a rank that was far beyond her years. I mean, she was way ahead of her time. Right here, we have the Maggie Walker National Historical Society site. This is a National Park Service, and they recently renovated the building as well, also adding to the revitalization of the neighborhood. And we're gonna see if we can't go in and get us a little tour of the property. So I'll get back with you in a second, as long as we're allowed in. Let's go. We're going to start this tour of the Maggie L. Walker historical site here in a few minutes. It's going to be really good knowledge. Seem like I am a little bit rusty on my Maggie L. Walker, so this will be good for me. So let's go. Let's see it.
four-step plan to accomplish just that. She proposed a bank, a department store, and a newspaper, all to be run under the banner of St. Luke.
Let us awake. Let us arise. We have the men. We have the women. We have the brains. Let us form a partnership of heads and brains and actually do something. Let us have a bank that will take the nickels and turn them into dollars.
Okay. All right. Hopefully you can see right away, right? This is why it matters to have limits on the numbers of people you take in, and of course why we are going to do, as I said, stop in some rooms and walk through others. But we do always want. Walker's oldest and granddaughter, one who ended up selling this house to the park, settled in Chicago. She met her husband. She went to medical school at the University of Michigan, but did residency at a place called Providence Hospital, Chicago. And that's where she met her husband.
Yeah, we used to live behind there.
The bedroom, though, is where Mrs. Walker spent her evenings and final evening. She passed away in that very bed on the night of December 15, 1934, at the age of 70. Once again, passing away due to complications of diabetes. But you're probably not surprised, especially at this point, to know that she ended up having an enormous funeral. An estimated 5,000 were in attendance. This was quite likely the largest funeral for an individual in Richmond since the Civil War. And that, I think, is worth pausing to think about, right? Richmond, for those of you who may not know, had been the capital of the Confederacy during the Civil War, which meant that for the decades after that followed the war, all of the biggest funerals that took place here tended to be for white men and Confederate generals, right? People about as different from Maggie Walker as you could imagine. And so for folks to see, right, someone like Maggie Walker receiving that level of treatment in 1934, right, speaks volumes in terms of the kinds of changes the country was experiencing, of course, at that time, and certainly foreshadowed the kinds of changes the country is continuing to experience.
All right, and that was the Maggie L. Walker tour. Hope y'all got to see a little bit of that historic site, and I definitely learned a lot more about Maggie Walker. Give them a little shout out. They said they had a YouTube page with the little short film that they had on her life. Put the link down here, so go check it out for yourself. They just hit 1 million views. Let's try to get them to 2 million. Thank you, Maggie. This is the local park here in JacksonWard. I just made this little quick stop to show y'all that it's not all historic over here, or maybe it is, little Richmond history. So if you ever heard of the popular metal band Gwar, I believe their lead guitarist opened this bar over here. He's also the executive chef, the menu creator. And we got Gwar Bar. So Gwar Bar is themed after the metal band Gwar, founded here in Richmond. R.I.P. Dave Brocky, still on the search for your final resting place in Hollywood. Nice suspense, keeping it unlisted. Across the road over here. Yeah, Gwar Bar. I've eaten there a few times. It's kind of modern American pub food. You got a lot of the original props from stage in there. This one's for you, Johnny. We'll walk down here a little bit. Show you the old dairy that is now turned into apartment buildings. Ooh, the tagging. Yes. Let's check it out. My city. My city. Give him the choice of cold water or beer. I know what I would have chose. And I think that's what we're going ahead and call JacksonWard done. It was really nice getting back on these historic streets here in downtown Richmond. Like I said, I used to live right around the corner on St. James Street, and really excited to see the progress and the revitalization of the area. Still a few areas that are looking a little rough. I'm sure that those are going to get the attention soon, but I mean, night and day difference from when I was here 5 years ago. Highlight of the trip was the Maggie Walker house. It was nice to see a house set still in the period. Didn't get to do Dooley Mansion yesterday, so that kind of scratched that itch, even though we are going to go back and do another Dooley Mansion here soon. And yeah, guys, so that's another episode here in the Richmond series. I think I'm going to have 1 or 2 more before I'm internationally traveling again. Can't wait for that. Really appreciate all the help so far, all the support. Keep up with it, guys. You know, like I said, this is a grand journey of discovery, and you're going to be there for every step. So I'll see you on the next one. Till then, take it easy and have a good one. Bye. JacksonWard, y'all. On the late night JacksonWard driving tour. That was a lot of fun, y'all. All done now. Time to head back to the lab, put this one together. Been good, y'all. See you soon.